Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match on the Necroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting with Team 1 here on the western side of the map with the northwestern player of JJ Sheridan going first land as a UEF in white. Further down south of him we have Babel going first land in orange as an Aeon. Continuing on southward, we have Vest going first land as a Cybern in pink. In teal, we have Prugler PDM going first land in teal as an Aeon. And of course, last but not least, for Team 1 here on the west side of the map, we have SPCR going first air in blue as an Aeon. So the racial disparities for the blue highlighted team, I guess we'll call them, we have 3 Aeon, a Cybern, and a UEF. So they are missing the glorious Seraphim technology. Their Yolana Osses and their Washer experimental bombers are definitely going to be missed on that side of the map. Let's go ahead and introduce Team 2. We'll call them Green Team here on the eastern side of the map, starting with the northeastern player of Rayla going first land in green as an Aeon. Further south of them, we have Nabek going first land as well as an Aeon in yellow. South of them, we have Navy blue player of GS4 going first land as an and second air as a UEF, excuse me. In red, we have Dekumi going first land as a UEF in red. And of course, the last player of the game to introduce, we have I Play Drunk going first land in tan as a UEF. So for Team 2, we have 3 UEF and 2 Aeon. Not only are they missing the Seraphim technology, they're also missing the Cybern technology. So no telesnipes, no Monkey Lords, no crabs, any of that sort of thing. We're having some early scouts here in the middle of the map. This little hunter accompanied by a mole getting that nice intel read. I'll go ahead and kind of show you the vision. A little bit further out vision and a decent area of effect for that intel. This isn't a 20 by 20, but it looks like pretty close to about a 17 to 18. So a nice spacing for all of our players to spread their legs and their arms out, so no one's feeling confined together, and be able to build out and expand pretty quickly. There's a decent amount of reclaim on the map, not a whole lot. Again, most of it residing pretty much in these corners of the map. There are dots of mass around these upper plateaus, but the middle is not really a good place if you want to go for reclaim, because there's just not really enough there. There's one little spot of water. There's always going to be water on the maps that I cast for some reason. There are maps that I have casted that are full land, but Navy is always a good addition to the game. Again, we have that little hunter attacking an engineer. That's going to be the first kill of the game if it isn't going to be grabbed by these mech marines, but it does look like the engineer does go down. Another engineer is going to die here to this little hunter, as well as these subsequent engineers if they don't get an assistance from anything. Even the calm of Dekumi would be beneficial to something better than nothing kind of thing. Those units do move out and then kind of decide on it, but go, nah, it's fine. Air Scout over top is going to be able to scout those units, and I wouldn't be surprised if a bomber or something else, the bomber is on the cards, and they're going to be able to take those units out. There's also a small little intel run by sort of kind of thing up here on the northern side of the map, but it was dealt with by the comm and other forces out from Rayla, not I Play Drunk. I Play Drunk is down here. Again, in terms of rating disparities, we have the highest rated player of the game on Team 1, blue team's side of the map of Vest at 1800, and the lowest rated players of the game are tied for SPCR and Nobik, with pretty much blue team having the extremes of the highest and the lowest, versus Team 2 having kind of the middle ground or the average in terms of the ranking. Eco's pretty much the same, kind of teetering back and forth a little bit between who's in the lead. But Team 1 is leading the total mass recruit by, about a little under 2K. So not a whole lot of mass differential, but we will definitely have to check back on that as time progresses in this match. We have some drops out here from the yellow player of Nodek, and he's getting very far forward. Unfortunately, there are some flares in the area, and they're going to be able to take out those engineers down. That was a very, aggressive play, but Team 1 had already put infrastructure down on the ground, and that is not going to amount to a whole lot other than just a small mass donation of a couple engineers and a transport. I think that transport made it out, maybe? No, that's a rock, so maybe that transport made it out of there. I don't know. I was more focused on that drop. There are a couple intel installations out here for Team 1. We got one of them right here, and I think that's it. I thought I saw another one, but maybe that's Team 2. Yeah, there was one down here for I Play Drunk, and that's it. So not a lot of intel, and it looks like that intel station is on the warpath path for Nodek's forces, but he does turn them around. That'd be a good thing to grab early on. Doesn't cost a lot of mass, or doesn't cost a lot of energy, to run, but it does knock out their eyes over there on that northern side of the middle. Gun speed and range going down for the comm of Vest here in the middle, making sure they can secure this southwestern side of this little, I don't even know, lake, pond. I feel like almost everything in this game is ponds in terms of water. We have a gun speed going down for Nobek. Wouldn't be surprised to see the other gun upgrade, turning that comm into the Aeon Sniper comm. Gun range going down for Rayla. So if you combine both of their comms together, you'd have one Aeon Sniper comm. We have the comm of JJ Sheridan as well here on the front line. He has some forces kind of doing some little intel gathering as well as kind of some posturing, but there is a decent sized force out from Nobek to be able to counter this small little push. We have a gun speed going down for Pregler. Pregler? Yeah, Pregler. And there are two comms down here for blue team here in the southern portion of the map. I Play Drunk is outnumbered and is going to retreat due to that, the fact of him being outnumbered. I wouldn't be surprised to see the comm of Dekumi come to his aid and help support this southern side of the map, or even push the middle and kind of come in for a pincer maneuver around this decent-sized plateau here. Now we have JJ Sheridan on a gun damage and range upgrade, dropping in some engineers to assist with that upgrade, speeding that up, as allowing him to secure this northern side more effectively. T2 going underway for GS4 in the middle here, going to be probably doing PD creep, ensuring that there's no run-bys, not a lot of aggression down here on this southern side of the middle. Bomb goes over top of some forces out from Vest, but kills one unit and damages a few others, but doesn't really amount to a whole lot. And more retreating coming out from I Play Drunk, just trying to fortify this forward operating base with these mechs in the intel station. That comm of Dekumi is going to support his compatriot down here in the southern section of the map, and I Play Drunk is going to get an upgrade to help him assist with that defensive maneuver. Comm of Nobek, has both of those upgrades, so Aeon Sniper comm, and is going to send that comm all the way forward and probably push the front lines of Vest. Vest is very far forward in terms of his units. He does have, or in terms of his base, he does have some units in tow to help assist on the ground game, but if he gets cut off on this western side of this pond, we have the forces out from GS4 that can push him into a pretty much, a pincer maneuver and kill him. So that will definitely be something to look out. And it does look like Vest kind of sort of notices that and does move in to intercept the comm of Nobek. So not going to be caught out napping here in the middle section of the map. We have some comm action going down here on the northern side of the map. We have Rayla and Sheridan getting into it. Sheridan focusing down the units out from Rayla, but Rayla focusing down the comm. Saradin probably looking for a veterancy upgrade, but now those units are now out of range, and now they focus on, radar focuses on the units out from Saradin. So a little bit back and forth, some mass being thrown at one another, but again, not a huge amount of mass and nothing to really worry about here. We have a large, sizable force of these mantises out from the Cybercom of Vest, looking to intercept that sniper com out from the, there's multiple Aeon players, the yellow player out from Elbic. And we're going to see that come full, like 2 ahead. You're going to see that confrontation here right away. Oh, turn that off so that way we can keep the icon turned like that. Nobic is retreating, but again, because of the range of that upgrade, going to be able to do lots and lots of damage to the Com of Vest. Units out from Vest as well try to take out all of these long-range auroras. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of hit points, so those mantises will be able to take them out very quickly if they get nearby. Again, we have some of these little flares for bullet sponges, not bullet sponges, but for cannon fodder, pretty much as a distraction against units out from Vest. We have a little mantis over there that just kind of gets left alone and dies for its troubles. The reinforcements from GS4 are on the way. They're pushing the southern side of this middle section of the map for Vest, and that's going to force all of the units out from Vest to pull out and take out this incoming force, which will then provoke the rest of GS4's units, and he's signaling Nobic to move and to push that front line. Nobic notices and then assists his partner here in the middle of the map. We have combat going down here in the south as well. Both Dakumi and I Play Drunk are hurriedly trying to defend their southern flank, getting PD up, making sure that nothing gets past them, and the comm of Brugler PDM is looking very worse for wear. He is sub 3,000 hit points, almost sub 2,000 hit points, and I Play Drunk is trying to get the kill, but SBCR walks in front of Brugler as a bullet sponge and is going to be able to allow his partner to escape. Bomber comes overhead, doesn't really amount to a whole lot. That forward operating and manufacturing base out from Vest has been taken out. We do have some reinforcements out from Brugler here in the middle of the map. And it looks like those forces are going to get pincered by the comm of GS4 and the rest of his forces. That intel station was built and then promptly destroyed. That's going to be definitely a blow to the intel game for Team 2. GS4 hurriedly trying to establish the PD since these units out from Brugler are very close. GS4 is trying to establish the plasma cannon. I feel like I said that the opposite way, but anyway. Doesn't matter, those units were mopped up. And the comm of Nobic is by itself. If Vest really wanted to, he probably could walk the comm down, but due to the fact that Nobic does have a range advantage against him, probably not the best idea. The orange player of Babel getting an upgrade, a range upgrade, doesn't have any upgrades on his comm as of yet. We're going to do another Aeon Sniper comm to try to counter the Aeon Sniper comm from Nobic. Forces out in the north from Rayla pushing back JJ Saradin here in the north. Again, a good kind of a seesaw, a back and forth, a pendulum motion. One player attacks, one pulls back, the other player attacks, they pull back, and kind of just back and forth here in the northern section. We do have the comm of Rayla is on a 2-star vet, and Saradin has just completed their first vet in terms of mass killed. Go ahead. Speaking of mass, let's check a look at generated eco as of yet. Very pretty even. Pretty much even for both teams. Team 2 kind of, and it keeps flip-flopping. It's really hard to tell who actually has the lead. But in terms of total master crew, Team 1 is still winning by about now 5 to 6K versus the initial 1 to 2 that we saw earlier in the match. Is about 14 minutes, so T3 air should be pretty much achieved for the air players in this game. We have T2 land, we have T2 air, we have T2 air, and we have T1 air for Vest. We do have T3 air has been completed for Babel, which would probably explain why his comm is far forward. They're able to now use that engineering and HP advantage, or at least, unit better on the front lines. We have stealth going down for the comm of Vest. We also had that chrono dampener, so we're going to be able to disable nearby enemy units, excuse me. Do we have T3 air completed for the eastern team of Team 2? We have T2. We have T3 land has been completed. Harbs are now the focus for Rayla. We have T2 land. T3 air has been achieved, and their Pigeon is getting up and running. I think the Pigeon of the Pigeon of Babel was finished. So Team 2's air player is a little bit behind the pace, and Team 2's air player is Takumi, but not very far behind. Would like to see some ASFs built first, just to counter the fact that Babel might go for a bomber first. ASFs over the top here in the middle for Babel, assisting in the air support. And it looks like with those upgrades on both of those comms, Vest and Babel are now been emboldened. And it looks like we're going to have a battle here on the northwestern side of this little pond. ASF's over the top, just kind of getting a nice little view of what's going on. The anti-air units from Novik, I keep saying their name and I keep forgetting, just trying to pepper as much of these units as they can. The ASF stop moving, and that allows for a lot of those anti-air shots to hit, which is very unfortunate. They do kill an ASF, but 1 out of 4 is not the biggest thing on the planet. It is 25% of your force, but Team 2 doesn't have any ASF on station as of yet, so you still Team 1 still has the advantage. Novik is leading the charge, going after the comm of Vest. Babel is being signaled to come assist with that fight. Babel now targeting the forces out from Novik, using chrono dampener to try to assist with disabling those units. Does disable a huge section of them. Oh, wrong unit. You can see that yellow circle, I think, is the chrono dampener. Let's see if I can get it in view. So that way, yeah, that's the chrono dampener range, and it pulses once in a while. It's not a constant thing, so it pulses, disables, units can move again, and then it pulses again. We're definitely going to be aware of that. You can see the pulse go off once more. It disables a couple units in the back. Novik pushed forward and then realizes, it's probably not a good idea, and is now pretty much going to be walked down if Vest and Babel continue their onward movement, which they should be. Novik is dropping down into the red, sub 1,500 hit points, sub 1,000, sub 500, gets a rank in vet, very crucial, but is still going down in terms of hit points. Novik dies trying to go after the comm of Babel, and that is going to be a kill for Team 1, making this a 5v4 in Team 1's favor at the about 18-minute mark. So not super early, but about in the middle. I'd say it's pretty average. I'd say a player usually dies at about 20 minutes for most games. So not very uncommon. Unlike the last match I casted and released yesterday, in terms of when this video is going to be uploaded, we had 2 players die simultaneously within like 15-20 seconds of each other in the middle of the map. So that was definitely a good game to watch. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a very good game, and a nice little illustration of why having a backup transport is very important. We have gunships out from Babel as well, dealing with the rest of this Team 1 force out from GS4, emboldened by the death of their adversary here in the middle. Vest is pushing forward, taking out all of those auxiliary mechs for SPC, not SPCR, for GS4, excuse me, which were once owned by Novik. However, the eco game has shifted. Team 2 now leading, or green team now leading. Well, they were leading it for a second, and then they're not. I wish the ecos didn't constantly change. Yeah, 396, and then it drops, and then it goes up, and then 3. So a lot of that could just be reclaim related. they keep rapidly changing. It's very hard to tell. But Team 2 is leading the eco game by about 2k, so I would assume Team 2 is the one leading it in terms of generated. But again, the numbers keep varying a little bit, so it's hard to tell exactly who has the lead. Army out from Rayla here in the north, pushing down southward to cut off any advancing forces out from Vist. Rayla using her comm for defense, ensuring that nothing gets past her. Drops a couple of these harbs on this northern edge of the map, ensuring there's no run-bys as well. Very good placement of those units. Again, ensuring that nothing funky happens. It looks like there was a run-by at some point. I don't think those were reclaimed. I feel like those were, or control crate, I feel like those were destroyed. But I could be wrong. Answer down in the comments if I was. T3 pointing out by Sheridan. That is not the factory, but it is a forward T3 factory, allowing for these harbs to be deployed and reinforce their brethren quicker than, I guess, transporting. But the player of Rayla is transporting engineers for build power, most likely. T2 force out here, mainly with assisting T1 forces. These blazes, very effective. They have a decent amount of movement, and they can, of course, float on water. So again, very versatile units. Don't deal a whole lot of damage, as you can see, but in large numbers they can. Of course, the Oblivions are very tanky, so they can, take a lot of hits as well. These blazes are a little weak. Even these T1 mantises are able to deal a lot of damage to these blazes. That push isn't really going to amount to a whole lot, especially with that chrono dampener on the comm of Babel. Not really the best. Yeah, Rayla now making a comment that it's chrono. I feel like Novik could have made their team aware of the fact that the Aeon comm of Babel was on a chrono dampener upgrade, but hindsight 2020 and all that. Lots of TMD down here for the comm of I Play Drunk, ensuring that none of his mexes get sniped by TMD. I don't really see any TMD in any of Team 1's bases, so just a precautionary tactic. There is a Aloha T2 tactical missile launcher here in the middle, which is currently launching missiles at probably the resourcing options, I would assume. Because what else would you target? Looks like it's on a trajectory course with... Oh, please don't tell me it's for that... No, it's not. Okay, it's headed... Where is it headed? Oh, all the way in the... For those T1 mexes? Oh, it did go after the ant... That's a really weird thing to target with your... TML. Anyway. Just a T2 black cannon. That's kind of weird. That retreating force was able to now split the forces out from JJ Sheridan and pull his attention in multiple different directions. Again, very good move for that, except there's a multiple small fire bases with 3 PD in each of them, a fourth one coming online fairly quickly, and not a lot of progression is going to be made on that front line for Rayla in the north as of yet. A lot of the ASFs out from Babel concentrating their flight patterns over here, over his comm, and over here to the north, supporting these T3 loyalists out from Vist as well. Would have liked to see maybe Babel get a hold of those just because he is over here. But, just again, hindsight and all of that bird's eye view sort of thing. Base war is pretty much the staple here down in the southern portion of the map. Heavy shield going down for SPCR. Already has, of course, the regular shield and is going to go for even more shield. So very defensible and pretty much can be used offensively and defensively. So very, very good choice on that shield. The chrono damper is very good against T1 units, but against T3 it's not, you won't really bother. Unless you have a lot of supporting units, it's not really going to matter. JJ Sheridan has moved forward and is now starting to regret that decision, as all of these harbs are going to surround the comm of Sheridan, and he is going to die. Kaboom. Taking out a decent amount of the hit points on all of those harbs. And that's going to level the playing field in terms of players. Now it's a 4v4. sub 24 minutes. If you've been enjoying the cast so far, please like and comment down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. There might be another comm kill here pretty quickly. I don't... Is it a... Why did the units die? Maybe it's a... Maybe it's a... Like a semi-share? Where like infrastructure is shared, but not units, and they die on the kill of the comm. I just felt like that's really weird that all those units just randomly died. Answer down in the comments what that was about. Maybe we'll learn a little further along. I thought it was a full share game, but I could have been wrong. There's some Sparkies, which are the combat engineers. You can see the little cannon, one of its arms. And not a whole lot of damage, but again, something's better than nothing. And Rayla making a point to DS4 to do something. He is guarding the middle and not allowing any of his opponents to gain any more territory. Pretty much splitting the map almost 50-50. I feel like blue team, or it's hard because there's a lot of blue on both teams. But Team 1 has a little bit more map control by about maybe 55 to Team 2's 45%. Just due to the fact that there are multiple armies, or at least engineers, and units over that mid line for the map. Comm of Krugler emerging from the water, assisted by these Asylum mobile shields. All those PD just pretty much not being able to do any damage to that shield. The shield goes down very quickly and then recharges very quickly. I don't know what that was about. Maybe power stalling. Yep, I think it was a power stall issue, but that was fixed very quickly. Units from him as well, trying to do some damage to that fire base, but are waved off by incoming fire. Huge ASF ball is now hurtling towards the other ASF ball. So air fight over here in the northeast section of the map. It's kind of going to be even. Looks like Babel's going to favor a little bit more. Oh, that bad turn's not great either. And they're still able to shoot, and it looks like Takumi is going to get the majority of the ASF kills. We have 24 left. I didn't even see the number, apologies. And 41. So definitely most of air control now resides in Team 2's hands. Again, Team 1 still has a little bit because they're not out of ASFs entirely. Could still be used to defend maybe a strap bomber rush at this stage. Which I'm surprised no one's gone for strap bomber as of yet. I feel like that would be effective. Unfortunately for I Play Drunk, that fire base, or at least one of them, there's a production or resource base down here in the south. Lots and lots of these Oblivion tanks I was mentioning earlier. Super tanky, can deal lots of damage just because they can survive for very long, and assisted by these harbs. Not great. And all the little, I forget what that was, but Infinity died. These Mongees need to keep moving. They are very weak. They have long range. You can see all of that Gatling gun fire taking out a harb almost, but due to the fact that they are long range and those harbs have a decent amount of range, they need to stay out of the range of those harbs or they'll just get annihilated. Babel saying snipe the comm that's not even there anymore. Or snip, snipe, I don't know. And then rebuild. Don't really know what that's about, but maybe they were talking about sniping the comm of Rayla, but they are all the way in the back line of their base, just doing, I don't know what they're doing. They have a huge host of engineers. I think they're going after upgrading their mass extractors. Army out from SPCR, or Spacer, I'm assuming is how you say the name, now that I kind of think about it for a second. Pushing forward, taking out outlying mexes, and is going straight for the main base. However, there is a Monkey Lord on station for Vist here in the northwest section of the middle. And it is going straight for that army. Full stop. Not going to stop. Or full stop meaning it's not, that's like the end of the sentence. Like it's going to go straight for it. Those Titans are just going to get eviscerated. There aren't any Perseus to deal a lot of damage, and unfortunately a lot of this army is going to be killed. Would like to see maybe the Soothsayer be targeted so to take out that vision. Artillery shells raining constantly. GS4 has built has built an experimental, I don't know where it is. Oh, it's back in his main base. It is a GC. That's going to be good to use on the front lines. And the use of that chrono dampener is allowing for some of these auxiliary units from Spacer to be nullified and that Monkey Lord to scoop them up with its massive laser. ASF ball here down to the south protecting T1 bombers, forcing this attacking force from the blue player of Spacer, which GS4 is the one on Team 2. Spacer is the one on Team 1. I might have been confusing the names. I do apologize. The force out from Spacer takes out that transport. Is just, there's no anti-air in this mix. Again, one of the things I point out is the fact that a lot of people neglect putting anti-air units in their land armies. They are very effective. I mean, even the T1s aren't, again, a great. They're T1. Not a lot of units on for T1 are great in terms of the T3 stage, but even T2 or T3 flak, those, lightning tanks, anything to just take out all of these bombers would be better and preferable than nothing. Again, the tip for today, and I think a lot of the games, is build anti-air for your land armies. I know it won't amount to a whole lot of damage, but you can negate a decent amount and maybe allow more units to fall back and survive and regroup for another attack. E, please, for GC. Spacer going for a GC. Transport out from PDM, from Prugler, is effective and does carry his comm away. Again, last cast I did, the comm was being evac'd and then got shot out of the air and died. So at least it's good to see that sometimes comms make it out from transports. We have a Perseon station, and that Monkey Lord is making such a headache for the GS4 in the middle of the map. That GC that was mentioned in chat is almost it's a little over halfway done now. There's some transports out in the back line for Spacer, maybe ferrying units to the front line. That Monkey Lord is now going to get surrounded by that force out here from the north, as well as a squadron or two of bombers. That Monkey Lord probably will make it to the water, and there is a couple squadrons of Babel's ASF coming in to intercept, taking out all of the bombers. That Monkey Lord is on half its health. It's running away from the GC. That GC needs to keep moving, so its laser is still firing on it. Those Perseus really should, reload faster. Need to take out that Monkey Lord. Be a nice mass dump for Team 2, but that Monkey Lord is going to make it into the water and survive, unfortunately, for Team 2. It is 31 minutes. We should see SMD start to be prioritized, or even a nuke that got rushed. I don't think so. There's been a lot of aggression from a lot of players on both sides, so I don't think a nuke is even built, and I would see it with the little highlighting outline mod thing that I did. There is a T1 mass storage for VS, for VIS, and I don't know why. That's pretty weird. Not like VIS doesn't have their own mass storage or anything. I just think that's weird. Galactic Colossus here in the south. Another Galactic Colossus is built for Prugler, so 2 Galactic Colossus and a Monkey Lord for Team 1 as of right now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something being built on the northwest side. Looks like Babel now has control of... well, I guess he'd had control of Prugler's forces, but... or from Saradin's forces, but... I don't know what that ping was about. Maybe... I don't know what that... You need to make strats to kill the nuke. Fist has T3, so he will handle ASF, I presume. There's a nuke on Team 2. I was mentioning the nuke earlier, and I thought there wasn't a nuke, but I guess there's a nuke somewhere, and I don't see it. Huge host of these Corsairs coming to try to deal a lot of damage to that GC. The laser from that Monkey Lord is sticking out of the water. I'm surprised that the GC did not target it with its face laser, but I guess it just couldn't get a firing solution on it. Oh, maybe GS4 talking about how that maybe talking about how that Monkey Lord was firing, but the GC was not. I don't... Oh, the nuke... Oh, it's hiding. Excuse me. The nuke just finished. Excuse me. That's why I couldn't see it. Because the nuke just finished. Or the nuke launcher finished. Now the nuke is going to be built. Shields are the name of the game. NPD. Good to see that, preventing any tele-defense, or if tele-defense, making tele-defense. And if a comm on the Team 1, being Vist being the only player that can do it, wants to tele-snipe, that will most likely result in a kill for Team 2. Which I don't think Vist will do, just due to the fact that it's kind of like tele-sniping is really like a last resort play. Unless you can do multiple jumps in one go, then it's very much more of an aggressive play earlier on, but not really worth it. Lots of SAMs being built here on this northwestern side, kind of trying to lock down the airspace around this forward operating base of the Soothsayer with a couple mass extractors in tow. We have a couple Parashields in the mix. They take out that Soothsayer literally as I say it. Caster's Curse, I mentioned something, and either it happens or then it doesn't happen, or it was not being built, wasn't finished, but then finished after I looked away kind of thing. We have a little bit of a lull, a little bit of a quiet on the fronts for both teams. Not really a lot of aggression, even though Spacer does have a huge T3 army with supporting units. And I don't know where that GC went. I know that GC was walking somewhere. Did it already die? I hope not. I don't want to miss it. Oh, it's right. It's trying. It's trying to walk. And it's like the walls are in the way. I can't walk around it, or just walked over it. One or the other. We have a GC surrounded by some Parashields, but I think its head is still sticking out of the shield. I'm trying to like get a good angle on that GC. Good job, guys. You tried to protect me, but it's like I need a hat. My legs are covered, but I need a hat, guys. That GC is now on the move. Nice little break from the action, taking a little, scenic view of some units. We have a Monkey Lord chasing down these Parashields. Parashields are going to die, but they're going to inflict a decent amount of damage onto that Monkey Lord. Stop popping up. Go away. Sometimes I forget to close those, and again, they block out some of my my vision in terms of the map that I can see. Hopefully, the mini-map size is good. It's actually bigger in most instances than the scoreboard, so hopefully everyone, at least on phone, can see it. I know at least tablet and PC, obviously, the bigger the screen, hopefully the easier it is to see stuff. So, I'm trying to look out for those who watch on phones, because I watch a lot of YouTube on phone as well, and sometimes it really is hard to see that mini-map. So I appreciate those who have spoken out saying, make the mini-map bigger, and I did make it bigger. That's for you, so that you can see on the mini-map just in case I miss something, because obviously I'm going to miss something, because I can't be everywhere all at once or notice everything all at once. But at least I'm trying to do better at doing so. And every cast, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at looking at that mini-map more often. We are having a push out here to the south, led by that GC, and I would like to have more of those harbs and supporting units grouped up. Looks like that GC is pulling back just to do that. There's no defenses in terms of this little forward operating like engineer spam, and not really a whole lot. There are some Ravagers in the main base for I Play Drunk, and some nearby Titans and Parashields, but looks like that army is readjusted. I don't know what's going on. They're just doing some battle formation tactics or something. I have no idea what they're doing down there. And then Spacer says, great, T1 bomber spam. Yeah, all of the T1 bomber spam. These two have some anti-air units in the mix now, so that's very good to see. There's some scouting going on as well. ASF's in position to take out those bombers. Sheridan saying GC. There's now a GC on the northern side. We saw that earlier. The nuke is launched from that nuke launcher from GS4. Had to take me a second. And it looks like it is going to target the airbase of Babel. Babel cancels the upgrade and goes, it's probably going to land here. That SMD was built, but is not loaded. And that nuke is going to land. That is the only SMD in the area, unfortunately for them. There is a secondary air grid built up by Vist, and he does have a SMD, and it is loaded. So good on Team 2 for noticing that that SMD was built later. Babel should probably keep walking just to be sure. And that base is going to get nuked and evaporated. Kaboom. Pretty much everything is taken out. Leaves a P-Gen that pretty much should have died on 198 hit points. So, 1% of its hit points. Not even 1% of its hit points. Well, 10%, like 3% of its hit points. Because 10% would be 620. And then 1% would be 62. So about 3% of its hit points. Push out from Rayla here in the north. Just constantly trying to push that front line of what was once Sheridan but is now Babel's. Lots of forces in the mix. I'm surprised they're not grouping up to counterattack against that GC. Maybe they're trying to build up PD and other defenses and other units to help assist. But the more time that they give to Rayla, the more time they have to soak up all of that juicy reclaim that's over here. There's a decent amount over there. About, I'd say, 40,000 reclaim, if not more than that. That's definitely something that Babel should be aware of. He wants to push, but doesn't want to push too much. It's all a balancing act in this game. We have some trebuchets taking out defenses and radar installations. GS4 has built another experimental. Which one is it this time? There's that GC being surrounded by units again. Don't really know where. Oh, it's in the back line. It's another GC. They're trying to go, again, full GC spam. Surprised not to see a Paragon, considering there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Aeon players left in the game. Not one of them is going for Paragon. It's about 40 minutes, so you would assume that, game enders, T3 artillery, stuff like that should be on people's minds at this point in the game. Obviously experimentals, of course, but obviously some of those are experimentals, to be fair. Like Mavers and stuff like that. But GC is the priority for Prugler, air grid, and SMD loading for Vist. In that forward operating base or main base of Sheridan is taken out. The Galactic Colossus has hardly lost any hit points, and a lot of mass has been dropped on that northern side. Engineers trying to run away. The Demolisher trying to run away, but keeps running into engineers. Gets slowed down and will get shot down for fight here, Babel, with that spider. Transfer of units, control of units given to Vist here on the northern side. A huge wave of Corsairs come in over the top and target that GC. The GC understands that, oh, I gotta move. Evades a decent amount of the shots, but a lot of the shots still impact that chassis. There are some anti-air units in around the GC from Rayla. They were able to take out a decent wing or so, but again, not a lot of them have been taken out. The ASFs come in over the top to deal the rest of that damage. Lots of anti-air weapons in that main base. That Monkey Lord is going to go down. Does it? Oh, it's close. It's close. Dick dies, and the GC, I think, gets another rank invent, but it's going to die now. That is a defensive hold for Vist and Babel here on the northwest side of the... I guess that's just west by northwest. But these units out from Rayla are going to have to retreat and are going to die, leaving some mass for them to reclaim. But they took out a decent amount of the infrastructure and are now reclaiming anything and everything on that northern side. Down here in the south, we have an attack out from Spacer. Their Galactic Colossus did die, unfortunately, but a lot of those T3 units remain. There are T3 PD in the back line with the comm of Drunk just hanging out under shield coverage. T1 bombers coming overhead, but just get evaporated by all of that anti-air firepower. Biplanes overhead to get a good readout of what's going on. These Percivals should just retreat. I know they're trying to get some pod shots on some of these Obsidians. You notice Obsidians can take pretty much two shots from a Percival. So, again, a good amount of damage can be just shaken off by those obsidians. So they're like 2.5. They're like tier 2.5. They're a little bit better than T2 units, but not as good as T3, and can be used in a pinch. There is the largest like flower formation I think I've seen surrounding this GC in the center. Like, please protect me. I am your master. We're gonna get another little, screenshot, another little look at that. Just like look at all of the, shields and more shields. His head is still not covered. Look at that. His head's just peeking over the edge of the of that shield coverage. But nice little formation for GS4 in the middle of the map. If my camera will reset itself. There we go. Just wouldn't take it. Usually I can just press the space bar and it resets, but apparently not. We do have 2 GCs on this western side of the middle, as well as a squadron or so of restorers for him as well. Good anti-air and anti-ground or land air units. And in large balls just evaporate ASF. ASF can't really do a whole lot. I-attack here. I-attack here to wait. Stop. Messaging. Attack here. Something. I don't know what that's about. Brugler's going to move north and maybe cut off some kind of scouting forces, but maybe they're going to try to draw the ASF out. How is that nuke looking in the back line? There is a quantum gateway going to become online soon. The next nuke has just loaded. Wouldn't be surprised to see them wait a little bit to launch it. SMD now on the cards for Rayla as well, making sure that the enemy team, at least Team 1, doesn't think of using nukes. I don't see any effort again to end the game. It is 43 minutes now. Massive T1 bomber spam being used to just force back this army out from I Play Drunk. And if he is playing drunk, he's doing a very good job of it, to be fair. It also depends on how drunk he is, to be fair. But a lot of those units, especially those anti-air units being taken out, allowing for maybe some aircraft to come in. We do have Dekumi building up a wing or so of bombers out here to the east, but you can just see all of this T1 bomber spam being used. Would like to see some ASFs devoted to Drunk here in the south, just to ensure that he has some anti-fighter craft capabilities. He could always build anti-air, but wouldn't like to take that out. Then they are prioritizing taking out either the engineers or the reclaim itself. We see 13,000. Oh, we'll zoom in a little more. 13,000. It's dropping. Every bomb that drops takes out more and more mass. Reclaiming efforts are the priority number 1 of all these engineers. They are taking out some engineers as well. They're trying to reduce the mass, but they're also dropping mass as they're killing mass. So, I mean, kind of a weird, kind of double-edged sword, catch-22 situation. ASF engagement in the northwest side of the map. And it looks like, as of right now, Spacer might have the advantage. 71 versus Dekumi's. Oh, never mind. 126. So if Spacer's able to get a couple good turns in, maybe it'll make the difference. But it does look like Dekumi's going to hold the ASF advantage. And we have some of these Alumnar T2 transports on the cards dropping in. These RASCOMs. That was a very, very risky play. Those ASFs could have retasked onto that Alumnar and taken it out very quickly. That nuke is launched from its silo. It's going towards the rebuilt base of, I guess, Vist now. It was Babel's land. Babel moves out of the way. That was just a mass dump, says JJ Sheridan. And then something in Russian. Don't know what he said. Just still trying to target Destiny. Just naming all of the anti-air units. That nuke is going to land. Oh, I almost missed it. Let me get it in view a little bit. Kaboom. Another soothsayer goes down. Land grid goes down. Decent amount of the T3 units do survive, but there's a huge army with some... Actually, I thought they were Rambo, but they are RASCOMs. They keep running into units. Like, get out of the way. They're going for the mass points of Sheridan's old base. So that's definitely going to be something to look out for. Again, those restorers being a huge pain against all those ASFs out from GS4, but both of these Galactic Colossus are going to make it to the main base. Not that the first one is going to deal a lot of damage, but at least that gun is able to open up. That first one does fall. Anti-air units come in. Lots of shields. Would have liked to see the shields walk with the GC just to protect it more and more from that incoming fire. That GC is walking in towards, looks like the SMD. Shields hastily built up, trying to stave off the attack. That GC does die pretty much on their doorstep. Does take out that shield generator and a decent amount of those PD. Unfortunately, now it's just restorers, and that GC going to be able to do a lot of damage. They're going after the mass fab surrounding these mass extractors. Still trying to target that SMD. It looks like the shield is the priority number one. Trying to keep it's online. There are units getting underneath the shield. Percival's come in. That shield is going to fall. Another shield pops online. Looks like it's a bait and switch kind of thing. And all that enemy forces out from Team 2 have been dealt with for Team 1. So Team 1's going to breathe a sigh of relief. Looks like the target of the next nuke was going to be this main base, but they're going to breathe a nice sigh of relief and lots of reclaim for them to grab. Now we have that visual glitch where the DC is just shooting the ground but not doing anything. Another horde of ASF come after that group of restorers, and now that restore ball is going to fall. It is a good play out from the Aeon Air players to build just ASF and restorers and group them together. But again, the downside with that is you don't have more ASF to kill the ASF with, so, and the restorers don't move as fast. So if there's anti-air in the area, it's not going to go well for those restorers. Lots of Janus, lots of T1 bombers coming overhead. All of the fire raining down from the skies against that GC. That GC is still trying to truck on. It's trying to make its way over this little plateau. It's going to open its laser up very quickly. There is an SMD nearby. Is he going to be able to penetrate the shields? He's not even hitting it because the ground is in the way. And that is going to be pretty much a mass dump from Team 1 on the doorstep of Takumi's base. They're going to use that to scoop it up. The comm of Takumi was on the transport. It is a Constitution, so, you know, beefier and more hit points and whatnot. But definitely a risk. I like the use of all of the robo drones to assist one factory to produce those Janus as quickly as possible. There is a Fat Boy for Drunk as well. They're going to push that front lines of the south once more. And again, pretty much the northern section of the map, northwestern section of the map is now in the hands of Rayla, and now they have their own gunship and restore squadron, and that is going to eviscerate that GC. Another mass dump for Team 2 to scoop up. Team 1 now being hemmed in the corner. They're operating probably at about 30, maybe close to 40% of the map. But it's really not looking good for them right now in terms of map control. They do have a couple Galactic Colossi. Couple Colossi in the main base of Vist. They are going for a Disruptor. It's already half done. Again, at the almost 50-minute mark, somebody has decided to end the game. There is another emissary being constructed for Prugler. I don't see any effort here in the base of Baser. He did finish another GC as well. And, of course, Babel's base is pretty much non-existent, so not really a whole lot going on over there. We have a couple Harbs making their way all the way around this middle choke point. I don't know if that's not a valley. I don't know. It's not a channel because it's not one. Whatever that is. Then help Red build Maver. It looks like there is a Maver on the cards for Takumi. Yep, it has just been built. And thank goodness somebody says, I'm going to build a Maver and I'm going to build shields at the exact same time. So that way, if there's Artie and they know that there's Artie being built currently, it just can't, take out the Maver very quickly. And Team 2 probably knows about the Artie. Yeah, the Artie's 50% completed. That was that message earlier. They don't know about the secondary emissary. But it's good that they prioritize the shields as they're building the Maver. So, very good strategic move there. Artie Red is making Maver. Looks like conversations about artillery being made. Oh, looks like Rayla is building an emissary. Not really that quickly, though. And decides to actually reclaim it and funnel that mass into the Maver. I love it. I love to see when teammates are like, we are all going to focus on one project. And that project is going to be the Maver, which it's now in the yellow, so 25% plus completed for the Maver. Nothing really going down here in the south. And Team 2 now kind of has a wide buffer zone between the front line and their main bases. So that Maver, unless just a huge strat rush or, you know, artillery's now being fired, is going to be focusing down that Maver. The first shots are starting to land. It looks like they're targeting... What are they targeting? I'm going to zoom, trying to figure out where they're going. Looks like they're going... Lots of messages going down in the chat. Looks like they're going after the SMD. Yeah, it looks like that's the target, or the comm of Dakumi. If they know that's where the comm is. They do know that's where the comm is. So maybe that's what they're going for. Okay, maybe they're going for the air grid. And wide berth of shots. One artillery shell lands, deals some damage on that pigeon. A couple more artillery shells land. Not really. I mean, the quantum gateway takes a hit, but they can take a hit. Shields surrounding those e-storage. So much e-storage. So many of those candle stations surrounded by one shield. GS4 has built another experimental. Again, there's not really a lot of progress being made on the front lines on the north and middle side of the map. On the southern side, a little bit of progress, but again, not a whole lot, just more back and forth. Rayla has built another experimental, probably a Colossus. I'm assuming maybe actually on the front line. Yep, right there. And they're going to use that to push against Babel. Artillery shells raining all the time. That air grid is not protected. Shots land, take out a huge section of that air grid, take out the quantum gateway, leaving only the air factory and the HQ and one air factory left standing. Shields are the priority of the day so far, surrounding that comm of Dakumi. That Maver is now over 50%, and more shields are online, this time from the player of Rayla. Again, shields are the priority, more and more being constructed all the time. What that allows also is for some of that mass coming in from Dakumi to be funneled into shield production, while Rayla uses their resources, which they have the most resources in the game being generated at one time. Team 2 is leading the mass generation game by about 2K. At 3.2 is probably reclaim related. At 11, oh, that is, they don't have a Paragon, I would assume, because that would be something. But that was like 11K mass a second. That must have been reclaim related. That was very weird. Again, that disruptor is online. A second one is almost 75% completed. That force out from the northern side of the map from Rayla is pushing southward, trying to, again, hem Team 1 in a corner further and further until they capitulate. Artillery shells landing all the time, question mark? Where did they... I don't see the little dots. Where'd they go? Did the artillery... Oh, that's firing again. Okay, it was probably just readjusting. Conversations about ASF, mass being sent to one player. Gunships, I guess, is being made mention. That is a lot of restorers. We got 54 restorers, and we got 67 of the T2 gunships. So over 110 gunships. Looks like there was an explosion on the cards. I apologize for missing it. That was a nuke out from the navy blue player of GS4 trying to take out, again, the front line of Spacer's front line. Lack of a better word, we have two of these fat boys on the prowl. The GC is running away. We have 3 more fat boys in the middle. Restorers out. Going to start firing on the center fat boy. They're going to probably get at least 1 kill. ASFs guarding those restorers. ASFs incoming from Dakumi. ASFs incoming from GS4. They're going to collide here in the middle over these fat boys. These fat boys are going to make it out with the assistance of these Parashields and anti-air units, these Cougars. Lots of ASFs are going to die. Decent amount of those restorers do make it out. Restore and gunship push is on the cards against Vist here. They're going to keep taking out all of that anti-air. I would probably take out that Pigeon. There is a laser over the top. Those Novax lasers. Looks like a SMD has been priorited. The disruptor is destroyed. Engineers hurriedly trying to suck up that mass, take out more of that air grid, as well as Pigeons and whatnot. Restorers come in to try to take out the rest of those. Sorry, restorers come out to take out the other restorers out from Team 2, and that is definitely a blow to the offensive capabilities of Team 1. And if that Maver comes online, which it just did, to be fair, and it's moving its large cannon and now firing. It's now firing, looks like on the position of, I don't know. Oh, it looks like it's drifting a little bit southward, so it looks like it's going for the main base of Prugler, which their emissary is over 75% completed. Though this is definitely not really looking good for Team 1 right now. That Maver, that is a game ender, of course. Again, shields, and shields. They have the adjacency bonuses from the Pigeons, so that Maver is going to fire as quickly as possible. Though it fires 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 second. Say about 6 to 7 seconds, another shell is launched, and you can just see the amount of shells just being hammered onto the position. That shell landing pretty close to the comm of Prugler. There is a transport in the area. A shell almost impacts directly onto the comm of Prugler, and that is a kill. Looks like Vest control case, possibly. Just a game. GG. We tried our best. See, that's good positive attitude. Like, even though Team 1 is, now on the back foot, there is a desync, but obviously we can tell that this game is headed pretty much in one direction. GS4 control Ks, and then it looks like it was just pretty much game over at that point. Everyone just kind of like lost connection because everybody just kind of, or Team 1 pretty much just quit out, which is, to be fair, Team 2 had a Maver, Team 2 had the air support, Team 2 had Fat Boys. Team 2 also from Rayla took control of the northwestern section, which should have been in the hands of Team 1, and they were going to capitulate over here on the southern front as well. So we can tell this game was pretty much only headed in one direction. There wasn't a telesnipe movement out from Vist, which could have maybe saved Team 1 at least a little bit. All that damage out from that disruptor, but you could have maybe tried to get in over here, and or maybe even over here, and take out the Maver, but it was pretty much too little, too late at that point. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you like the cast or the other ones I've done before, please again like and comment down below. I accept any and all criticism or any and all advice. Please again feel free to make your voices heard, not learned, heard down in the comments. Again, I will see you all in the next one.